This is a special edition here at the MeidasTouch Network. The United States has officially entered Israel's war against Iran. Let me repeat. The United States has officially entered Israel's war against Iran. In the next half hour, we expect Donald Trump to give an address from the Oval Office. At this point, he's just been making social media posts using words like bombs in all caps as he announces what he claims has taken place thus far. He's also posting photos of the American flag. Here's how, I guess, the American people were notified that the United States has joined Israel's war against Iran. A social media post by Donald Trump on his social media platform. We have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We're getting word from Iran TV, what they are saying. They don't appear to be in an appetite to negotiate after being bombed right now. Iran State TV says the following: every American citizen or military in the region is now a target. Also, Iran's state TV reported that the country, let's pull up the other one as well. Iran's state TV reported that the country had evacuated personnel from the 3 nuclear sites in advance. According to the broadcaster's political deputy, Iran had relocated its nuclear stockpiles from those sites to secure locations. So you now have to either believe Donald Trump, who lies about everything, or Iran State TV and the Ayatollah, which is perhaps equally as inaccurate. I will share with you this: the moment that it was announced that the United States had joined Israel's war against Iran, Senator Bernie Sanders was giving a speech in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let me share with you the moment where Senator Sanders told the packed crowd in Tulsa what was going on. Here, let's play this clip.
This is a statement from Donald Trump, quote, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran," etc. I agree. And I want to tell you something. Not only is this news that I've just heard, the second alarming that all of you have just heard, but it is so grossly unconstitutional. All of you know that the only entity that can take this country to war is the U.S. Congress. The president does not have the right.
You know, Senator Bernie Sanders, I think, always has his finger on the pulse of where the American people are. He didn't hesitate to say that. It's frustrating to me right now as I see Democratic leaders hesitating at this particular moment to come out with a statement when literally what Senator Bernie Sanders said right there, I think, reflects the sentiments of all of us. We do not want to be dragged into another war in the Middle East. And also, Donald Trump's director of national intelligence in the past 90 days claimed under oath that Iran was not capable of making a nuclear weapon anytime soon. And Donald Trump just says, don't believe her. Don't believe my director of national intelligence. And Donald Trump's no longer, I think, even speaking to his defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, either at this point. I've lived through what went down in Iraq, right? When Donald Trump he constantly would say that he was against the war in Iraq and that he was against the neocons, pulling us into endless wars in the Middle East. And here Donald Trump is putting the United States into a war in the Middle East with Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump shoulder to shoulder. And it's unclear what our other allies actually even know about this, or if they were consulted about this. One of the things that we are learning right now is that top Democrats on the intelligence committees were not briefed on the Iran strikes. Apparently, Trump briefed some top Republicans, but politicized this and cut Democrats out of these discussions. Democrats, frankly, all Americans should be absolutely outraged right now at this moment of the Trump regime dragging the United States into a war. Now, I think if Donald Trump thinks that Iran's just going to come to the negotiating table now and go, you bombed us, Donald, so I guess we got to make a deal now. Thank you. Thank you for the bombs. We are appreciative. Let's go and make a deal. I think that is the most naive thinking imaginable, because it seems like Donald Trump is pulling us closer to World War III. That's what it seems like what he is doing right now, as the Fox propaganda machine cheers this on. A version of what they did with weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, but I think on steroids and in an expedited fashion right here. Moments ago, Sean Hannity said that he spoke to Donald Trump and he has new information. This is what Hannity is saying about the new information that they've learned on Fox. Here, play this clip.
And welcome to Hannity. We begin tonight with this Fox News alert. I just spoke to the President of the United States. I have some new information and breaking details to share about tonight's what is historic air campaign. Now, tonight, Iran's nuclear ambitions, they are officially dead. It appears the United States just completely obliterated Iran's top secret Fordow nuclear facility with 6 huge bunker buster bombs. It was originally speculated that you would only need 2. It turns out they used 5 to 6 dropped from America's stealth B-2 bombers. And that's not all. 2 other major Iranian nuclear sites, Natanz and Escalation, were wiped out with 30 Tomahawk missiles launched by American submarines some 400 miles away. Everyone is out of harm's way for now. That does not mean that American assets in the region are not at risk. And
back on November 10th of 2013, Donald Trump posted the following. Remember that I predicted a long time ago that President Obama will attack Iran because of his inability to negotiate properly, not skilled, ! There is always a tweet for everything regarding Donald Trump, and there's also always a clip, which is why I always say play the clip, and we have receipts of Donald Trump throughout the years saying that he would not do what he just did. Let's play it.
These globalists want to squander all of America's strength, blood, and treasure, chasing monsters and phantoms overseas. In addition, there must also be a complete commitment to dismantling the entire globalist neocon establishment that is perpetually dragging us into endless wars, pretending to fight for freedom and democracy abroad.
We should have never gone into the Middle East. We should have never gone into the Middle East. Under my leadership, we will turn the page forever on those foolish, stupid days of never-ending wars.
We're rebuilding our military stronger than ever before, and we are not going to deplete it again on stupid, senseless, endless wars. World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America last globalists and the deep state. I am the president who delivers peace.
I was the first president in decades who did.
Well, that's the guy who just did this. As I mentioned before, Iran state TV is saying every American citizen or military in the region is now a target. Then Donald Trump has apparently issued a warning back to Iran saying they should stop immediately. Otherwise, they are going to be hit again. We're moments away from Donald Trump addressing the nation. And while I don't like showing Donald Trump live at all, period, full stop, I think I have an obligation to fact check it and to provide the right type of coverage during this moment and to not let the void be filled by warmongers who are trying to get the United States into, well, we're already now in a war with Iran, but who are trying to pump our chests and pretend that a major victory has been achieved and that there's not going to be any repercussions. Iran is a country of about 90 million people. We saw what happened in Iraq. What are the goals and objectives here? Is it regime change? Could there potentially be a massive civil war in Iran that can spread throughout the region? Could this lead to terrorist attacks against the United States, here in the United States and abroad? What's going to happen in the Strait of Hormuz right now, which is the central shipping lane for oil, all of that oil that comes from the Middle East? It has to pass through Iran. Is Iran going to try to shut down the Strait of Hormuz that is on its border, shut it down and prevent any oil from getting out? How is that going to impact it? If Donald Trump thinks, and if American media, which basically resembles North Korea style propaganda at this point, that you just bomb a country and they go, thank you so much, what a wonderful bombing you did, we're not going to do anything. I think that they are mistaken, and I think there needs to be a voice here right now on the media reporting accurately. Americans don't want to go to war. We don't want endless wars. We were promised that prices were going to go down, that housing would be more affordable, that wars would be ended, that Russia's unlawful invasion of Ukraine would stop in 24 hours because Trump said he was this great negotiator, and even before day one, he would be able to bring peace in Ukraine. Right now, I stand with AOC and anybody calling for Donald Trump to be impeached. Let me be clear, that is my position here. Donald Trump has violated his constitutional oath. He should be impeached immediately for getting the United States into this war with Benjamin Netanyahu. Here, play this clip of AOC. We'll get that clip up in a moment. AOC call. It is a post. Let's pull up the post right now. Here's what AOC says. The president's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution and congressional war powers. He has impulsively risked launching a war that may ensnare us for generations. It is absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment. Do you see how quick AOC put out that statement? Do you see how quick Bernie Sanders reacted to it? Because when your values and principles are aligned with the American people, it's fairly easy. It's fairly easy how you respond to situations like this, where a dictator running the United States goes into war with Netanyahu against Iran without congressional authorization, without briefing the people you're even supposed to brief in Congress. What the hell is going on here right now in the United States? Let me show you one more time what went down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when Senator Bernie Sanders found out while giving a speech to a packed house in a red state, in a red area. Here's what went down when Bernie Sanders found out that the United States had joined Israel's war against Iran. Here, play this clip.
This news that I've just heard the second alarming that all of you have just heard. But it is so grossly unconstitutional. All of you know.
You hear the crowd chanting, "We don't want war. No more wars." And look, I don't think anybody at all wants a nuclear Iran. We don't want the Ayatollah to be running Iran, okay? It's easy to say that, okay? The complicated thing is what happens to our troops now? What happens to our country? What happens to the region? Are we thinking this through? Because it absolutely seems like we are not. And setting aside the trillions of dollars an endless war in the Middle East is going to cost, the lives, more importantly, that are likely going to be lost as a result of this. It's not a social media post moment high five. It's quite the contrary. This is a very somber moment. But of course, the warmongers on Fox, like Mark Levin, who's been pushing for this. You have Fox hosts literally meeting with Donald Trump. Mark Levin, it's how he talks. And he pushes for war and war and war. Bloodthirsty people like Mark Levin. Here's what he had to say. Play this clip.
It gives us peace. So I want the so-called, I don't know what to call them, people running around, warmonger, the sloganeers. This should be an education for you too. There should be an education for you too. America, don't you feel relief? Of course you feel relief.
No, we don't, Mark Levin. We don't feel relief, Mark Levin. Not at all. What was Donald Trump doing earlier today? He was congratulating the new members at Bedminster. He's been talking about the polls that he put up in the north and south lawn of the White House, while they've also destroyed the Rose Garden. California Governor Gavin Newsom just posted the following. Following the president's action in Iran, California's State Threat Assessment Center is actively monitoring for any potential impacts in California. While there are no specific or credible counter threats we're aware of at this time, we urge everyone to stay vigilant and report suspicious activity. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett posted the following. Here is yet another reminder that the Constitution is not optional. Congress must authorize military force before any president, including Trump, launches a strike. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is hoping that these strikes will force Iranian negotiations. Donald Trump has not even been able to do a trade deal with Canada and Mexico. And there was already a trade deal with Canada and Mexico that Donald Trump purportedly negotiated, the USMCA. Trump has been unable to negotiate essentially any trade deals at all in the past 90 days. And don't get me started on that UK thing, the 3 pages that looked blank that fell in front of Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and Donald Trump didn't even pick it up before Trump fled the G7 and went back to his little bunker to go and play golf at Bedminster. We believe that it was about 6 to 8 US B-2 bombers that were involved in the attack on the Fordo nuclear facility. The damage is described by Israeli sources as being enormous. According to Iran, they moved the nuclear material away before the strikes. That could obviously be a lie. We'll have to get more data on what the hell is going on. Donald Trump posted the following: I will be giving an address to the nation at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at the White House regarding our very successful military operation in Iran. This is an historic moment for the United States of America, Israel, and the world. Iran must now agree to end this war. Thank you! Exclamation point. You think that's going to encourage a positive response from Iran? They're going to go, can we come to the White House, sir? Can we come to the White House, sir? That's what we're going to do, sir. I have a feeling, and most people who have studied the region have a feeling, that this is going to result in a massive retaliation. And the question just is where and when and how. So we look to the Strait of Hormuz, seeing if there's any activity there, any commercial shipping over there, what's happening over there right now. We're looking at American military assets right now across the Middle East, which now may be targets for Iranian military strikes. We're closely monitoring all of that right now. But yes, for those entering right now, the United States has entered the war with Iran. Donald Trump and Netanyahu, it is unclear if the United States consulted any of our other traditional allies that we normally would when we would embark on something like this. We know that Donald Trump's director of national intelligence in the past 90 days had said that Iran was not capable of building a nuclear weapon anytime soon. But Donald Trump said, do not believe what she says. She doesn't know what she's talking about. That's the director of national intelligence. A reminder that most Americans think the U.S. military should not get involved in the conflict between Israel and Iran. Kind of overwhelmingly, only 16% of U.S. adult citizens believe the United States should get involved. 60% say the United States should not get involved. And it's pretty much on a bipartisan basis. Democrats, independents, and Republicans, by and large, to the same percentages, do not want the American military involved in the conflict between Israel and Iran. Marjorie Taylor Greene even posted, every time America is on the verge of greatness, we get involved in another foreign war. There would not be bombs falling on the people of Israel if Netanyahu had not dropped bombs on the people of Iran first. Israel is a nuclear-armed nation. This is not our fight. Peace is the answer. And again, that's coming from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Iran state TV reported that the country had evacuated personnel from the 3 nuclear sites in advance. But as I mentioned, that could be a lie. We have to gather more data there. Iran state TV says every American citizen or military in the region is now a target. And we know that top Democrats on the Intelligence Committee and in what's called the Gang of 8, they were not briefed. Donald Trump politicized this, only spoke to Republicans, refused to speak to Democrats. Donald Trump is posting images of American flags right now on social media. Let me try to give you some updates as well. I mean, one of the things we're looking at is, will Iran try to close the Strait of Hormuz? That would cause oil prices to immediately go above $100 very, very quickly. Obviously, Iran is no military match for the United States, as Spencer Kimian noted on his account. The question is, will they now try to cause havoc within the American economy and global economy? We expect that Donald Trump will be speaking any second now. And as I've said before, I really hate airing anything Donald Trump live without being able to fact check it at the exact same time it's happening. However, I feel an obligation in this historical moment that I have to share it so that I could provide this pre-coverage and post-coverage so everybody knows what's going on. and that you're not getting the kind of warmongering propaganda that we often see from cable news in situations like this, where they ask us to turn a blind eye to the reality of what we're seeing and to blindly pledge allegiance. And we pledge allegiance to the facts here at the MeidasTouch Network. We pledge allegiance to the truth here at the MeidasTouch Network. And that is what we're focused on, and why I believe it is very important that we do stream this live the way we are doing it now. We're going to try to keep you posted as well if there are additional updates. But to be clear, the United States has officially joined Israel against Iran. America is at war right now. Donald Trump violating the Constitution, clear grounds for impeachment. I've called for him to be impeached on this live broadcast, as has AOC. And I think all Democrats, all Americans should be calling for his impeachment. I think AOC's statement right here is the easy one. It's the right one. We're going to go right now to the speech. Let's watch it. We'll talk about it after.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say, we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East, God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
There you have Donald Trump wrapping up that speech at the White House. He called what took place a spectacular success, and then said that Iran needs to make a deal immediately, or else there will apparently be more strikes ahead. One of the things that we're learning as well, and we're getting a lot of updates here, the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran has now publicly vowed to continue their nuclear program following tonight's U.S. strikes against nuclear facilities inside Iran. One of the things we're learning about, two officials who spoke with CNN say the U.S. conveyed to Iran through back-channel discussions that the strikes Trump ordered tonight against the country's nuclear facilities would be contained, and that no further strikes were planned going forward, which seems to contradict what Donald Trump just said there as well. You have the Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chair, Jim Risch, say there will not be American boots on the ground in Iran, trying to push that message, although it is unclear how you intend to contain that when the U.S. has just joined Israel in this war against Iran. Donald Trump did not address really anything there. I think one of the things that come to my mind is, what are the goals and objectives? What are we doing? I mean, is the goal regime change? Is the goal now just further negotiations? What are we actually doing here? Also, you never heard the word Congress being mentioned. War powers, they require congressional authorization, which Donald Trump again violated the Constitution, but he's a walking, talking constitutional violation at this stage, as he's turned the United States into an authoritarian regime with literal masked ICE agents attacking Americans and migrants in the street and just beating people arbitrarily and capriciously from coast to coast here in the United States. A reign of terror happening here in the United States as a result of Trump's authoritarian tactics here. One of the things that you also didn't hear when Donald Trump just gave that speech, you didn't hear Congress, and you didn't hear mention of our allies, right? Normally in a speech like that, you would talk about how, this was coordinated with our allies in NATO or the G7, that there is a coalition. All you heard was the United States and Israel. You did not hear about any other countries. Now, I think one of the things we'll start to have to look for as well, in addition to what's happening in Iran, what their retaliation is going to look like, I think we have to look at what's happening in China, what's happening in Russia. How is China going to respond to this? China gets a lot of its oil from Iran, and it will be interesting to see how they respond to this. AOC has called for Donald Trump to be impeached. Here's what she posted: the president's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution. He has impulsively risked launching a war that may ensnare us for generations. It's absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment. That's frankly where my views are at this point as well. We are trying to see if there's any additional information to keep you updated with as well, to see if there's anything there as well. I think we pretty much have given you the full update on everything. We will keep you posted every step of the way here. We just hit 5 million subscribers. Make sure you hit subscribe here as we head to 6 million subscribers. We will keep you posted. Of course, as I said, we pledge allegiance to the truth here and to democracy here. And as I've made my views very clear before, I certainly do not want Iran to have nuclear weapons. I certainly do not think that the Ayatollah is the right person to be leading Iran. I'm also very cognizant of not wanting, I think most significantly, American troops to be in Iran, American troops and American troops' lives to be at risk, to do it in a very kind of haphazard way without our allies. And I have a lot of issues with the fact that Donald Trump's director of national intelligence within the past 90 days said under oath that Iran was not capable of having a nuclear weapon, and the way in which this has unconstitutionally escalated the way that it has. And so it's absolutely an impeachable offense in my view. I'm always going to tell you all how I feel about these things. I think it's important to note the MeidasTouch network has been built with no outside investors. More people watch us now on digital than Fox or any other cable news network. One of the ways you can help support this network, if you want to, no pressure, is you could become a member of our YouTube channel. You can gift memberships to other people. That's really one of the main ways we've grown. You can gift memberships to people. You may see some of the emojis here, and there's also bonus features that we have here. It helps grow this network with reporting like this. So become a member now if you can, if you appreciate the type of reporting that we do. And of course, if you can, I know under Trump's America, the economy is very difficult. So of course, no worries if you can. Also check out MeidasPlus.com. That's our Substack. Our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, gives some of the best updates out there. Make sure you check out our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Thank you, Meidas Mighty, for your trust. We take our reporting here as a solemn obligation, and we hope we're meeting the moment for you every single day, every single hour, every single minute. Historic moments like this and throughout the course of what's happening right now in this country. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next time. Hit subscribe, and let's get to 6 million subscribers. Thanks, everybody.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.